Welcome to It Ain't Rocket Science. I'm Adam Malkin, and we are here at Congaree National Park in South Carolina, one of the oldest and best preserved bottomland forests in the country. And we'll catch up with some students exploring this ecological time capsule in a moment. But first,
from New York to Texas, we'll take a look at how cars you drive every day are being transformed to work better for the environment and for you. We learn how coding and 3D printing can be learned and mastered by anyone. And it's on to the wonders of the deep as students get their feet wet in marine science. All part of Time Warner Cable's Connect a Million Minds to get you educated and interested in science, technology, engineering, and math.
All right, now back to what's going on here at Congaree National Park, where students are getting down and dirty in this ancient swampy forest to learn a little bit more about how their local ecosystem works.
Students here are learning about the ebb and flow of a floodplain, seeing what effects it can have on the surrounding environment. They explore soil properties, take a hike through this bottomland forest, and use art to bring everything they've learned together. In the first part of the day, they set up a flume experiment with different soils to see how water flows in different surroundings.
We had dirt, and then we had half a cup of water, and we poured it down the fume, and it fell into another pitcher, and we had to write down what color water it was. Was it chunky, or was it clear, or cloudy?
Well, there's these big kind of slide things, and so the first thing that you did was you filled up water, and then one person would hold a cup at the end, and the other would pour it down, and you would see what happened to it. It shows you that what could happen, that animals could eat that and then they could become sick.
People have been gasping, but I've been thinking that it's cool to know how different things can change the environment.
College interns run the program and explain to the younger nature enthusiasts what the results of their experiments mean.
There are these open pipes, and we put different types of soil or habitats in them, and then it's a model, and the students are allowed to see how the rain flows through and how it affects that habitat.
It's part of Congaree National Park's LEAF program, or Linking Ecology and Art of Floodplains, one of the National Park Foundation's open outdoors for kids programs, which aims to get young nature enthusiasts into national parks. The National Park Foundation is the nonprofit partner of the National Parks Service. It's a collaboration between the park and the Columbia Museum of Art to help local students understand soil, water quality, and to learn how to communicate their observations through art.
All of these students live in the watershed, so their ability, which is real as third graders, to take care of the soils around their homes and communities makes a difference here. We try and explain that scientists and artists really aren't that different, that we're all reporting on our world.
The program's in its 5th year, and over the next 6 weeks, we'll bring nearly 1,400 students into the park. Coming up later in the show, we'll catch up with these college students and find out what they get out of the experience, while we show you how these young naturalists wrap up their day.
And the students wading through this swampy forest aren't the only ones with the environment on their minds. In fact, it's receiving global attention, as evidenced by a recent meeting of world leaders at the United Nations. As these decision makers spent their week meeting to discuss issues facing the planet, one thing was clear. In many ways, the fate of the world's ecological health is in your hands.
It is not just a problem in the U.S. getting kids to study these STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, and math. So, in an effort to get all of the world's students interested and working on solving world problems, from global warming to hunger, through STEM, the New York Academy of Sciences has spearheaded the launch of the Global STEM Alliance, which it just unveiled at the UN with leaders from around the world. The Alliance will start by having one spot online for students to get involved with STEM projects, even help them find STEM internships. Students helping to launch the program say for their and the planet's future, it's imperative that their peers take advantage of opportunities like this.
STEM is everywhere. STEM is everywhere we look and everywhere we touch.
It can help improve humans' lives in so many areas, not ranging from smartphones to computers to like problems that we're facing today, like environmental problems, social problems.
It's got to be about global networks of kids coming together to solve the world's biggest problems.
This initiative will live online at globalstemalliance.org.
There's much you can do as well. A new film focuses on how Americans and the car industry can make a change at the pump to reduce the country's second leading source of carbon dioxide emissions. Shazia Khan explains.
Pump has an important story to tell with STEM at the center. Automobiles are feats of engineering in and of themselves, but making them run on renewable fuel? That's another story. But according to auto engineer John Brackett, it's far more simple than you think. He says many cars are already capable of running on methanol, ethanol, or gasoline, but that computer programming within the car only gives you one choice: gasoline. With a little software know-how, you can change that. John says he learned this by using his programming knowledge to ignite a conversation with his car.
What it said was this car will run off of ethanol or gasoline blends. And when I put the right numbers into the computer and I started running off these other fuels, such as methanol, ethanol, or gasoline, it learned the fuel. It adapted, it burned cleaner, it produced more power.
In advance of the film's release, John demonstrated a real-life car conversion, and he showed us exactly how to flip the switch and make your car feel flexible. He says it's as easy as a click of a mouse.
When I started looking at the computer program, there was literally a switch on the inside that was turned off. And what it said was this car will run off of ethanol or gasoline blends.
I was just walking by and I saw it, and it amazed me that it's just that easy. I might actually look into it and then look around to see what gas stations offer different types of fuel.
The way I'd like people to start thinking of cars more is that they are run by software. It is no longer just a bunch of carburetors and a couple screws that you turn here and there. You almost need an electrical engineering degree to be able to talk to a car. But once you do learn how and you understand it, you see how all the little pieces come together and start to form a very nice picture.
A bigger picture that might just get you to the next innovation that revolutionizes the way we look at the world. For It Ain't Rocket Science, I'm Shazia Khan.
In Texas, one group of university students is taking renewable fuel into their own hands by recycling grease from their dining halls to make biofuel. Our Victoria Moranin explains how this is even possible.
Your body will not be the only thing your lunch will sustain if you eat at one of these dining halls. You'll be gassing these up too. A group of UT engineering students are working on a reactor that will turn waste from university buildings into biodiesel. They're hoping someday it will keep UT's vehicles running while saving the environment.
We're taking waste from the university, and instead of putting it in a landfill, we're creating something out of it. So A, we're eliminating waste, and then B, we're eliminating the use of diesel.
Now these students are using leftover grease from university dining halls like this one to create biodiesel, which could eventually save the university money.
We have thousands of gallons of waste oil that are being produced in the dormitories and in the food centers. And this is a way to turn that into something productive.
UT spends almost $1 million a year to fuel their fleet. Aside from reducing the university's carbon emissions, Simbera is glad that their project will also help fuel other endeavors.
It will save the university money that can be allocated to other areas. It's a really great process as a whole.
Students hope to release test batches of biodiesel by October. For It Ain't Rocket Science, I'm Victoria Moranin.
All right, we have to stop here for a quick break, but coming up,
we'll delve into digital with a group of students that's taking coding and video games and combining them with art. And we'll look at some tech entrepreneurs who not so long ago were pondering that timeless question, what am I going to do when I grow up? We'll tell you what they're doing and share some advice they've got for you. And later, we head back to Congaree National Park in South Carolina to continue the journey through this old-growth forest with some young minds intent on learning lessons that can only be found in nature. To find more hands-on science, technology, engineering, and math opportunities in your community, visit connectamillionminds.com during the break.